Oh, wait. There.
I actually always forget.
I know,
hope
me too.
mine's on silent over there.
We'll blame it on you if that's the case.
Yeah, if it is, I'll just run off stage, grab it, and just do a whole thing.
We'll wait for you.
FaceTime whoever called you. Oh, hi, Bank. Just kidding. So, all right, we're ready? All right. You ready?
We're ready.
All right, cool. Camel Nation. She's like pointing at me like there's. Camel Nation, Jared Marshall here at Top Golf Gilbert for another live performance with a new artist out of Nashville, Caylee Hammack. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. So I saw you in Nashville a few weeks ago. There's a big radio event called CRS, and you performed at the Ryman Theater.
Yep.
That was your first time at the Ryman.
Yes, and I was really nervous.
Who did you share the stage with? Like, who else was performing that day?
So I was playing with Keith Urban, Eric Church, Chris Stapleton, Vince Gill, Little Big Town, Cassie Ashton, Travis Denning, Jordan Davis.
Kind of an amazing lineup to be a part of. And in all honesty, as a person that was in that audience, you kind of stole the show. With all those artists, you kind of stole the show, and you kind of announced your presence with authority to the people that were there at the Ryman. What was it like for you coming as somebody, and I loved your line where you said you moved to Nashville with a high school diploma and a fake ID.
Yeah.
How was it going from that to performing on the Ryman with some of the biggest artists in country music?
It's funny. So right as I moved to Nashville, I moved with a high school diploma and a fake ID. And yeah, dude, I had to get a job. So I snuck into a little bar down on Broadway, which is just a string of honky-tonks in the middle of Nashville. And anyways, yeah, I walked in and I just begged them for a job. And I pretended like I was 23. And yeah, I got a job. So for 2.5 years, almost every single day, I was walking 4 blocks in front of the Ryman, down the hill with about 35 pounds of gear, and I'd be walking to my gig, and then I'd walk back up that hill in the middle of the night, usually like 3:30 in the morning, and every single time I walked past that building, like the way I kind of kept going was I told myself, one day you won't have to go all the way down the hill. One day you'll get to stop here. And I just kept telling myself that. I was like, if you work hard enough, you won't have to go all the way down to Broadway. You can stop at the Ryman and play. And yeah, so getting on that stage was really nerve-wracking, but it was kind of just one of those like come to Jesus moments. It was a full circle for me.
It's pretty exciting to be able to share that with you and being able to witness it. And like I said, you actually owned the stage. You just captured everybody's hearts there. And you're very infectious with the way you talk to your audience and the way you write your songs. And where do you get your inspiration for your music?
It's mostly my life. My life or the people around me. I mean, you get most of the inspirations and your best one-liners from the people you love. So I pull a lot of my situations and a lot of my stories from the people I love.
Well, we're going to hear some of those stories and some of those songs right now. Ladies and gentlemen, at Top Golf Gilbert. Ladies and gentlemen, bring it up for Caylee Hammack.
Thank you. Well, to tell this story, I have to take you home. And I am from this tiny, tiny little town named Ellaville, Georgia, right in the middle of South Georgia. And I was raised by 2 amazing people, Mike and Connie Hammack. And they started with absolutely nothing. And from nothing, they grew something. They grew a little family, and they had a little tiny piece of property in the middle of this town. And Daddy put a single wide down on it with orange shag carpet and all, very fancy. And he built a shop up on the hill. And every single day he'd walk up the hill and he'd go to work. And at the end of the day, as the sun came down, he came down with it. And slowly but surely, Mom and Daddy worked together to build that business from nothing to something. And they saved enough money that they could build the house that Mama had always wanted and always dreamed of. But Daddy insisted that we keep the single wide in the backyard because you got to remember where you come from. And the first redhead that ever impacted my life was one of my older cousins, Jennifer. She was going to nursing school, didn't have any money, so she asked my dad if she could move into that little single wide. And I was probably 4 or 5 years old at this time, and I would sneak through the woods every day whenever I knew she was out of school. I'd sneak through the woods, and I'd come see her at the trailer, and we would drink Dr. Pepper in these little tiny miniature teacup sets that she would collect. And we would lay on that orange shag carpet and we'd watch Jurassic Park over and over and over again. And now I think about it, Jennifer probably hates Jurassic Park. But when I went into a write last year and Natalie Hemby said, I have this title I've never gotten to write with someone, Redhead. And I was like, okay, what's the idea behind it? She's like, I don't have an idea yet. I just, Redhead. I just like that title. And I was like, well, let me tell you about the people in my life. Mama was a hothead, Daddy was a redneck. Grew up in a single wide when Reagan was president. Spooning in a twin size, really wet business. Didn't know they gonna have themselves a little redhead. 9 months from Valentine's, blamed it on the red wine. Bought a station wagon, stopped running all them red lights. Big eyes, big mouth, wild child complex. They didn't have a clue how to raise a little redhead. Oh, they got their hands full trying to tame a pistol. Spit 5 freckles that could run a mother dead. Close line, tied rope, dead devil, high hopes. Raise a little hell when they raise a little redhead. Living with a sunburn, running with scissors. Daddy's belt couldn't help. Simmer down this temper, roll in a china shop. Rose-colored reckless, try to run away, but trouble loves a little redhead. Oh, they got their hands full trying to tame a pistol. Spit 5 freckles that could run a mother dead. Rose line, tied rope, dead devil, high hopes. Raise a little hell when they raise a little redhead. Come on. Oh, they got their hands full trying to tame a pistol. Spit 5 freckles that could run a mother dead. Close line, tied rope, dead devil, high hopes. Raise a little hell when they raise a little redhead. Oh, God made the blondes black-haired and the brunettes. Devil dropped in and said, I don't think you're done yet. Let's make a compromise, make an angel backslide. And so they chipped in and made a little redhead. Ah, thank you. Because this song is the reason why I look like a psychopath walking through the airports every day. Walking around with this thing in my back pocket. So, the story behind this. All these songs, I know that y'all don't know them. And my daddy always said I could talk the ears off a brass monkey, so I'm sorry if I talk too much. But when I'm given a microphone, I'm given power, and I take it. But I like to tell people the stories behind these things. I wrote a song about a boy a little while ago that he was a wonderful friend. Great heart, good heart, wonderful friend. Really awful boyfriend, just not very good at it at all. And it's funny that at the end of it, I was like, what did I say? And he's like, we should have been just friends. And I'm like, yes. So anyways, that saying got stuck in my head, and I was like, just friends, just friends. Well, we started writing this song, and I love to mix two very, very different things and try to make something new with it. And I grew up on all of the old country classics, but I also grew up on Everclear and Weezer and all the 90s alternative bands that you can think of. So I wanted a song that did the two. But we noticed that once we produced it out and I got to put all those little sounds and little giblets of, sonic lemonade in there, it was going to be really hard to break it down and do it in a broken down acoustic set. So that's why this came to play. This is such a deal. Goodwill, $1.99. I got it from one of my co-writers, Sam Ellis. I gave him $2 and told him to keep the change. But anyways, we're going to try to play this. This is Just Friends. I'd sworn off love long before I met you, but somehow you loosened the ties. When I'm tied apart, you made walls look like sheets hung to dry, easily pushed aside. In a moment, I fell for you. You should have never come over. You should have left early and kept your hands to yourself. You knew better. You should have never promised me bliss if you couldn't keep it. We should have stayed just friends. Just friends. Whoa, should have listened to my mama and I let you in my head. I should have told you that I loved you, but not let you in my bed. Was it the tension that kept your attention on me? Or were you just alone, needing company? Ah, baby, baby, we should have stayed just friends. Just friends. Oh, if we never made out, do you think you wanna still hang and sleep on my couch? Do you think you'd wanna go back, take it back, but it's too late, 'cause it don't work like that. You should have held your own hand. We should have been just should have listened to my mama. I should have listened to my mama. Oh, I should have listened to my mama. And we should have stayed just friends. It does get a little daunting. I got to figure out how to yeah, that's what we're doing next time.
That's the power move.
But the beauty of it all is has a handle. That's the winning ticket right there. No, but I never get to play this song, to be completely honest, because it does have a few cuss words in it, which I hope is all right. Camel Country. Okay, it's on the internet, which means everything goes. Y'all can get naked for all they care. Actually, if y'all do, the ratings might go up. So if anyone feels a little warm, I'm kidding. This song is my story. This song is the growing pains, I guess, out of everything. I was the runner-up to the homecoming queen. I was the girl that sat in the leather jacket at the edge of the bleachers. Always tried to fit in and never really did. I was an outsider, no matter what I did to try to fit in. And I grew up knowing that. So when I found a wayward heart kind of like mine, I grabbed onto it with fierceness. I didn't let it go. And the thing was, though, the whole time I knew that my dreams weren't going to come to me in this little town. I knew that if I wanted to pursue music, if I wanted to do what my heart really wanted me to do, I was going to have to leave this little town. And this little town had this guy in it. And I'd just fallen so deep in love that instead of making my own decision, I let him make the decision for me, because I thought that love was sacrifice, is it not? And so I decided to put love first instead of my dreams, and he decided that I needed to stay there. I needed to stay in that little town with him. And I said, okay. And I dropped the scholarship that was going to get me out, And my dad was so mad and so disappointed at me. And I dropped it, and I kind of just put all those dreams and wishes I had in a little box, and I put it underneath the bed, and I loved him as much as I possibly could, and it just wasn't enough. So when he said he needed space a little while after, just long enough for me to not be able to get that scholarship back, I decided to give him all the space he damn well needed. And I drove 399 miles to Nashville, Tennessee with all of the things I owned in trash bags in the back seat. And I slept in my car in a Target parking lot. And it was December 1st, 2013, 5 years ago. And 6 years ago now. But anyways, yeah, I woke up the next morning, there was snow all on the windshield. And it was the first time I'd really got to see a true snow. And I remember that moment, it was like, this is a clean start. This is a clean slate I can write my name on. And the thing is, my heart was still back in that little town. My heart was still broken, still mending, you know, slowly but surely. And when I found out from a friend of a friend that his way of moving on and needing space was moving in with a woman 12 years older than him with 3 kids into a double wide, the only thing I could think to say was, ain't that some shit? Like, you think you're going to find space in a double wide with 4 other people. All right. I was mad, to be completely honest. And I held on to that anger for a while and made a lot of jokes and kind of let that bitterness run my sense of humor for a bit. And I realized it wasn't doing me any good. So I went into the room and I decided that I needed to write this all out. And I started writing this, so I hope y'all like this. This is Small Town Hypocrite. Can y'all hear that? Okay, good. Hand-me-down dreams got me high in the rafters. Homecoming queen couldn't be an outsider, so that's it. A cigarette lit and a leather jacket. I found a boy who was a stranger too. A one-horse town at a table for 2. We had matching scars, matching tattoos, both dying to fit in. Ain't that some shit? We're just small town hypocrites. And that scholarship was a ship that sailed when I chose you and Daddy gave me hell. Made myself into someone else just to love you. Damn, I loved you. Took all my plans and I put them in a box. Phantom pains for the wings I lost. Had me circling rings in a catalog for 7 years and you never got the hint. Ain't that some shit? I'm just a small town hypocrite. So we'd be right in this town, but you're just riding around. And I'm staring at a picket fence, wondering where the hell time went. I should have been riding by now, but I just hate. Love shot me out like a rocket, never to return. Man, I forgot it. How it feels to fall from orbit, land on shifting sand. Felt my heart at the bottom of a bucket. You said you needed space, damn it, I bought it. Till you moved in a vinyl-sided double wide with a couple of her kids. Ain't that some He's just a small town hypocrite. Oh, so he'd be running this town, but you just running around, and I'm staring at a picket fence, wonder where the hell time went. I should have been running by now, but I just about how things turned, how they should have been. The bridges that I burned and the trains I didn't catch, like a small town hypocrite. I'm just a small town hypocrite. Thank you so much. You can mute this bad boy. She likes to talk too much. Sorry. Alrighty. This is the song that started it all. I always love to end on this song because it really did start it all for me. I'll explain the writing side of it, but it's really one of those that we wrote, and I wrote it about my family, and I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, oh, this is a good family anthem. But it slowly kept around for another year as I was writing for this record. I was writing to try to tell my story, and this song just kept coming back up. So when they gave me the opportunity to go in and produce this the way I wanted to, I picked one of my friends, Mikey Reeves, and him and I went and we spent probably 50, 60 hours all by ourselves staring at a screen and trying to figure out how to make the sounds we wanted for it. And we had only friends come in and sing. We only had friends play on this song. And this is a song that got enough interest from labels and such that we were able to start making the record, and we finished the record. We got to make the record we wanted. And that just, it means the world to me to be able to write these songs and produce them with friends and be able to bring them to y'all. But it's so funny that it started from my sister's secret smoking habit. I went back home for Christmas, and my sister had started smoking cigarettes, but she would wear her left-handed gardening glove, and she would smoke outside in front of this little cheap fan we'd gotten from Walmart that she'd put behind the pool house, so that she could smoke, and the wind would blow it away from her so she didn't smell like nicotine when she came in. But she still smelled a little like a cigarette. So the first time she asked me to go to the gas station with her, and she wanted to get a pack of cigarettes. I'm going to get a slushie in the back, and I hear her ask for it, and the guy goes, "I'm sorry, we're sold out of Camel Crushes." I walk back up. I'm being a smart ass, and I go, "Dang, Molly, like you must have smoked all the camels in the county last week." And in my head, I went, that's a good line. I should write that. I should put that down. So I wrote it down in my notes. And anyways, we went back home. We have a wonderful vacation, you know, back home together. And she's still smoking those cigarettes. And that line is just sitting in my head. So I go to Nashville, finally get back. I start writing. And I write with Gordy Sampson and Troy Burgess one day, who are two great writers. Probably don't know their names, but you know their songs. And we start talking about family. And I said, well, I got this crazy line. Sister smoked all the camels in the county last week. She cleaned out the 7-Eleven, sneaking in, smelling like nicotine. And Gordy turned around, he was like, tell me about your family. I started talking about my mom's obsession with Tupperware, how my dad cannot stay awake through an entire football game, yet we watch as loud as the volume will go in case he misses something. And slowly but surely, we started naming all of the little quirks that make the people in our family so very special, and it makes us love them more. And I'm so happy that this is my very first single. It's all on digital right now. It's just on streaming, but it's coming to y'all at radio in just a little while. So thank you for letting me come in and play this for some people. This is Family Tree. Oh, yeah. smoked all the camels in the county last week. She cleaned out the 7-Eleven, sneaking in smelling like nicotine. Mama's burning chicken for the Tupperware party tonight. Daddy's asleep in his chair, the TV's blaring the stats for halftime. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, real life can get real funny. Whoa, whoa, oh, we got more love than we got money. Some sing a little higher, some are just hang low. A few of us are on fire, get out and some just wanna stay home. But it don't matter, 'cause the roots run deep, and ain't nothing gonna shake our family tree. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now, Grandma sold a Maytag dryer to post my uncle's bail. Now he'll be hanging her laundry till there's a snowstorm in hell. Now me and my cousins like to take a Sunday drive, rolling up before potluck lunch and get high school high. Whoa, 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 oh, real life can get real funny. Whoa, whoa, oh, we got more love than we got money. But some sing a little higher, some are just hang low. A few of us are on fire to get out, and some just wanna stay home. But it don't matter, 'cause the roots run deep, and ain't nothing gonna shake our family tree. And ain't nothing gonna shake our family tree. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now some of us got problems, but everybody's alright.
Everybody's alright.
Some of us got big plans, some are just planning on getting by. Some of us got problems, but they love us anyway. Through thick and thin, hill we're still kin at the end of the day. Some sing a little higher, some are just hang low. Few of us are on fire to get out, and some just wanna stay home. It don't matter, 'cause the roots run deep, and ain't nothing gonna shake our family tree. And ain't nothing gonna shake our family tree. Whoa, 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 every life can get real funny. Whoa, 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 we got more love than we got money. Oh, ain't nothing gonna shake our family tree. Thank y'all so much for listening, for singing along. Thank y'all so much for this.
Am I back on? There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Caylee Hammack, Capital National recording artist. Thank you so much for coming out here and joining us at Top Golf, Gilbert. And now I think we're going to go play some Top Golf. So thanks so much for checking us out right here on the new KMLE 107.9.